appreciate each one of you that have kept watching Bethany TV up to date, and I want to encourage you all to make it a point to continue watching Bethany TV even year 2024. I can't wait to wish you a happy new year in advance. But today it is the Nutrition Spot. My name is Giftina Kayinga, and I'm so much honored to be here right about now, and I thank God for the gift of life, for the life He has given to each one of us. You are viewers, and whether you are watching us live, whether you are watching us on different social medias, and if you are even watching us live, kindly go onto our social medias and like Bethany TV pages or the different social medias. And also you can be a part of the show. I usually tell you the number always runs over the screen, so you can engage with us either on WhatsApp. The number is going to be over the screen. On top of that, you can go and check out what Bethany TV is all about on our website. So at this point of time, you know, Bethany TV is so amazing that during this particular season, it is giving out gifts to individuals that win during different shows. And today, before I introduce to you the topic that we're going to have in the Nutrition Spot and my guest, I want to introduce to you Bethany Santa or Mugabe. So prepare to call and you win yourself a Christmas package. You're so much welcome.
Amazing, 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 amazing. Good evening.
Good evening to you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Good evening. My name is Bethany Santa Omugabi. Pleasure to be here. You know, each and every time I'm here, I feel like I'm just at home. I feel like I want to give people gifts, but I think it's high time. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're okay. Hope you're having a very good evening. I want to take this opportunity to welcome each and everyone from work. You know, there are those working class people. Each and every time they come back home, this is the show you have to watch when you're seated there in your sitting room or somewhere else watching. So it's a pleasure being here once again. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, each and every time you see Bethany Santa on your screen, all you gotta do is dial that number on your screen right about now and call in and let me ask.
Bethany Santa Mugabe.
Hello. Oh, amazing, amazing. Yes. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Dietary Pattern and I'm calling from Bukoto.
Yes. Is it your first time to call in or you've ever called?
Yes.
Your first time?
Yes.
Okay, okay. All right. I have a very simple question for you. Each and every Sundays at around 8 p.m. we have a very amazing show. So what's the name of that show which is always there every single Sunday at exactly 8 p.m.?
Medical Mind.
Amazing, amazing. Congratulations. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You're out there is like a winner.
Tomorrow where
All right.
should we come?
Exactly, come to Bugolobi at Cementas Plaza, that is Luthuli Avenue. Yes, you come at Bugolobi, Luthuli Avenue, Cementas Plaza, and you ask for Bethany TV station. And definitely. All right, midday. All right. I think we're going to have one more lucky caller. One more lucky caller, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to win yourself some Christmas hamper, it's high time right now. You call in the number just on your screen and you give you some goodies as well, you know? Yes.
Hello, Bethany Santa.
Hello.
I'm your Christmas day.
Amazing. Wow.
Yes, my name is Lucinda Gift from Masanaku.
Okay. Now, today, during our Bethany news, today there was that beautiful lady who gave us a wonderful news session today. What's the name of the news anchor?
Pardon.
What is the name of the lady who just recently, at around 8 p.m., who gave us the news?
The health news.
The name of the lady who just gave us the news at around 8 p.m.
I think it's Genesis Namada.
You think, or she's the one?
Genesis Namada.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So we should pick our package tomorrow.
Oh, well, yes. Tomorrow I can't wait to see you guys. Yeah, you need to come here and pick your
Thank you
hampers.
so much.
You're welcome. We shall be calling you as well.
Merry Christmas.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for watching Bethany TV.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bethan Santa or
Yes,
Mugabe. So if you are watching Bethan TV for the very first time, Bethan TV is giving back to the community before we end the year. So in every single show, make it a point that you watch and call, and you'll be asked 1 or 2 questions. If you pass them, you'll be able to win yourself a Christmas gift for your entire family. My name is Gift Nakainga once again, and this is the Nutrition Spot. Today we're going to look at our topic of discussion, that is the food systems approach to a healthy dietary pattern. In the studios, I have our senior nutritionist and consultant in diet, that is Daniel Ruma. He's going to be taking us through our topic of discussion, which is food systems approach to the health dietary approach. I was thinking of this one thing, and I was like, if we could give each and every individual the right amount of nutrients and exercise, not too little and not too much, we would have the safest way to health. Actually, we would live healthier and happier in our lifetime. So at this point of time, I want us to look at the different aspects, talk about production, talk about the processing, talk about the consuming, talk about the education if it comes to food systems approach. So allow me at this point of time have my guest to say hello to us, and we shall get deep into our topic of discussion tonight. You so much. Welcome, Daniel Roma.
Yes, thank you so much, Gift. As introduced, my name is Roma Daniel Henry. I work at Chambok University, Department of Nutrition Sciences and Dietetics. I also work as a consultant in foresight for food system transformation with the Wageningen University, focused on Uganda food system transformation. Of course, a practicing nutritionist and dietitian, as I am doing now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're so much welcome. I want to think and to hope that your students actually are there watching. So I think we are closing the year. Do you think we're doing a good job as Ugandans if it comes to food systems approach?
Of course, I think it should start with, first of all, the understanding of food systems itself. And of course, when we have a deeper understanding, we shall see where we are.
Whether now, we're doing well.
Whether we're doing well
or we are
not doing well.
At that point of time, then you can make us understand what food systems are and how do they influence the dietary patterns.
Thank you so much. Once again, a gift. Straight to the point, what food system is. Of course, when you talk about food system, in the current trend, the current language used globally nowadays, if we are understanding dynamics around food production, consumption, and health of the population. But of course, food systems, when you talk about it, we actually mean the different elements and activities that are involved in right from food production to when it is consumed. Of course, in this case, we're looking at production itself. We're looking at processing of the food. We're looking at distribution of the food. We're looking at consumption and also waste disposal. Of course, we have tried to understand, and it is evident that using this approach, it's the best way for us to promote a healthy dietary pattern. Why? Because we understand that if the different actors in the food system actually know what they are doing and what are the repercussions of their actions, they can actually collectively transform the food systems in a way that produces a healthy diet for all. So that is why I have realized that this is one of the best topics to discuss today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And like you mentioned that for us to find a solution to our problem of using a food system approach, it will have to involve different stakeholders. It will have to involve different actors, those that are involved in production, consuming, those that are involved in almost everything that is about food. So today we want to go ahead and deepen this discussion on food systems approach to a health dietary pattern. For a long time, actually, on the nutrition spot, we've been telling people to eat a balanced diet, to eat well, to do this and that, but we've not been coming out to emphasize the bit of the people that are into production and processing and you know, farming, how they are supposed to handle the foods before they reach to the final consumer. So today it's some of the things that we want to shed light onto. So Roma, make us understand the various components. Maybe you can break them down for us to be able to relate with them. How do they interconnect within a food system?
Yeah, thank you so much. Our producer, if you can share our conceptual framework in the food systems. Of course, we have the drivers of the food systems itself. Of course, the drivers can be things like demographics. You know, population is increasing. Population, and then consumers, some of the drivers, and many others. We also have the system itself, which is embedded into a natural system and embedded into a human system, and also the food system inside there, which has core activities. So, in this core activity, this is our focus. Of course, the core activities have the actors. The core activities that what we are talking about as the production. Production is a core activity in the food system. And if we have to promote good health and well-being, then we are looking at sustainable production.
True.
If we're looking at sustainable production, then we are looking at production of food in a way that it doesn't affect our tomorrow. You get? So that is one aspect, a core activity in the food system.
The production.
The production. And I know we are going to discuss about it in detail.
Yes.
And then we have processing. Of course, after production, some are eaten raw, right? But in most cases, there is processing. During processing, we have realized that, of course, it's processing can be modifying that raw ingredient into another form.
Product.
Yeah, and that modification sometimes can be for the best of it, and sometimes we have seen how products are modified and it becomes unhealthy for the population. Sure. And what we are fighting for, like if you talk of those saturated fats that we have been talking about, all this. And then another thing is the distribution. We have realized that, as we are going to talk about in detail still, distribution, of course, how food moves from one part to another.
To another part.
This can improve the healthiness of the dietary pattern. I mean, the dietary pattern of the people can be healthy if they actually are able to get these healthy foods. And then another thing is consumption. Consumption itself is what we have been, actually the big topic that we have been discussing here.
Yes.
We have been talking a lot about consumption. So, and then of course, disposal, that's the last one.
So
of course,
after the consumption, we look at the disposal.
The disposal. That is also another thing that we actually have to focus on. Of course, food waste and all these things.
Why are we focusing on the disposal?
Why are we focusing on the disposal in the food system? We realize that sometimes the disposal of food can actually be in a way that it's causing, either it is causing diseases, or people are actually disposing parts of the food which can actually be valuable. You see that? Food waste. Looking at the food waste. So, of course, if we see what has been highlighted there, that is what I was trying to discuss here. That is the conceptual framework in the food system. And if we discuss into detail, we find that we have the drivers, the systems, and then the food system's what? Outcomes. So in the outcomes, all these factors that we are talking about here, it can have economic and social outcome or well-being, and then it can have food and nutrition security outcomes, and then also, of course, environmental sustainability. Because when we talk about sustainable production, as we are going to talk about, we are going to take care of the environment in sustainable production. And of course, the environment backfires to us if we don't take care of it. It affects our health at last.
All the time.
Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruma. To the viewers that have just joined us, we're looking at the food systems-based approach to a health dietary pattern. We want to see the different actors that are involved into the food systems. Our guest has talked about the production, the processing, the distribution, the consumption, and also the disposal. So we want to break them down for each one of us to be able to understand that if you're into production, you know what you are supposed to do, and you know of how much impact it has to the consumer. If you are into processing, you know what to do. If you're into distribution, you know what you are supposed to do. If you are a consumer, you know what you are supposed to do. So let us start with the production. Ruma, make us understand the impact of the different agricultural practices that impact the environment, and also talk about the sustainable farming methods that can easily contribute to the health food system.
Yeah, thank you so much. Of course, as we know, or as we should know, agriculture is one of the major emitters of greenhouse gases. Or when we talk about climate change, is one of the major contributors of climate change. That is agriculture. And of course, now a lot of debate is around how to make it more sustainable, how to make production more sustainable. Of course, meanwhile, we talk about one aspect has been animal production, being one of the leading causes of those gases that cause climate change. I don't want to be more technical, calling it the greenhouse gases.
Yes, true.
Yeah, so how do we actually improve this? Of course, there is an argument down there which is trying to say, if it is good that we promote the consumption of plant-based foods, this will be great. We need to appreciate that fact. That will be great. It will save nature. It will save our environment, because we have realized the impact of animal production and all these things. So meanwhile we do the production, we have to be mindful of that. Another thing that may be more actually realistic is, let's say, I always give examples to production of fruits and vegetables. We do this production, most of these things are grown around swamps, water bodies, or rivers. We know how good they are, by the way. We actually encourage that we consume fruits, we consume these vegetables. But how is it being produced? We have seen in most cases tomatoes, which is in market, and agrochemicals, white on the surface.
So by the time they bring them from the farm,
yes,
they don't clean them.
Yeah, of course, you look at it in this way that most of the producers are looking at profit.
Not the quality.
They're not looking at the quality. Most of them, they don't wash it. They feel like when the chemicals are there on top of these vegetables,
the
maybe,
consumer will figure it out.
Maybe the consumers figure it out, or it will kill actually these
other bacteria
and all these things.
After exposure.
But as you're all watching today, you producers, this is not healthy. Most times, it's not good actually to spray when you know that they're already mature. We need to get a way of getting rid of these pests and diseases in a way that it can actually, even the product,
it doesn't affect the product.
Yeah, it doesn't affect the producers. Supposing, because I believe that you as a farmer, you are also going to eat this. Are we thinking about our health? in 50 years to come, in 20 years to come, or we don't want to exist with it beyond that time. That is one thing. Another thing, you can see about spraying. You see, during production of these crops that are around the swamps, they spray. And when they spray, these agrochemicals go into water. Not so?
True.
They go into water. Where does this water go?
The same people that are around those water bodies.
Yes, the same people who are around the water bodies, or if it is a river,
home consumption.
or if it is a river, then it joins into the stream. And at another point, someone is collecting and drinking. But remember, these chemicals will always be washed away. Of course, I'm saying they are washed away and taken into the stream. The stream flows. Another point, someone will pick it and drink it. Is this healthy? Is this sustainable? Are we looking at the health of people in the future, or even in 5-10 years from now? So that is why I'm saying we need to understand or be more innovative to get ways of avoiding these practices.
But now if you say that we need to be more practical, we need to look at ways that we can avoid these bad practices. I believe that I would say in every sector, in every profession, there is what we call the standard operating procedures.
Yes.
Do you think that people that are into production have these standard operating procedures, or they do not? And if they are to have them, how best can they implement them?
Thank you. I believe the Ministry of Agriculture tries their best to help these farmers. But of course, as we know, maybe the human resources is not enough to actually, maybe the extension workers need to do a lot of work to educate these farmers, or maybe themselves also they need to understand that this thing is not right. And of course, we have always talked about organic farming. You can do this without the use of all these chemicals. Or if you are keeping animals, sometimes some people use the urine to spray, and it works. So why don't we shift our focus to some of these sustainable practices and healthier practices that can help us today and for tomorrow also. And also it's sustainable to our water body, there's no pollution, and it helps us, and we can be healthy in this case.
Thank you so much, but I feel like still on that note, I would I would ask you to enlighten us a bit on the health implications of the different food production and distribution methods on consumers. Of course, you've mentioned a bit on the production, but we have that distribution part of it, and also go ahead and maybe elaborate more on the distribution for the viewer to understand.
Okay, about the distribution, as the key activity in the food systems, it's one aspect that can promote the consumption of healthy foods, or it can negatively affect the consumption of healthy food or healthy dietary patterns. So how does distribution affect? One, in distribution, we discuss about even the transportation system, the road network, the infrastructure, all these things. Of course, as we were discussing here when I was coming, there was a route I was using. If such a route is all over the country, then you would find that if a vegetable is being transported from one part of the country to another, the price may go high, because the route looks like someone wakes up in the night and is digging. Of course, around the city, we know what's there.
Yeah.
But then, so distribution, why is it very important? Let's say the prices of these healthy foods, or these fruits, these vegetables, increases because they come from up country sometimes. Because of poor distribution means the infrastructure is not right. What happens?
So for the distribution, should we concentrate so much on the transportation? Okay,
transportation is very important because it's the one that picks food from one part of the country to another. That is one thing. So we are focusing on the infrastructure, the road network. If there is no good road network, you find that most of these, the farmers will have to increase the price because they incur a lot of cost transporting
So
that is-
making it hard for the consumer.
Yeah, making it hard for the consumer. By the time it reaches the market, the price is high because they have to put in a lot of money in fuel. Some of these vehicles break down because of the road network. Another thing is infrastructure. Some of these fruits, some of these vegetables need to be handled well during transportation. If you see around the city when they are transporting our vegetables, sometimes I see them on the border. You find them, they are packed in a way that is really unhealthy, not in the right way. They are just moving with them anyhowly. You see that? That is distribution. So at last, we want people to eat it, but we see how the channels it is following. It is not the healthy channel. So someone has to realize that this is food and it has to be transported in a decent and a clean way if we have to consume it and also benefit from it.
Thank you so much. Because even I feel like even people that are into distribution are also, they are consumers. After you being a distributor, you also are a consumer. What you are transporting from one place to another, you're going to find it in another market and then buy the exact product. So I think we need to be very, very careful, people that are into distribution. Before we get into a break, I want us to break down the food policy and governance. Do we have government policies and regulations that would help influence the food production? Talk of the labeling, talk of the marketing strategies that are there after the production is done.
Yes, thank you so much. Of course, about government policies, what I know is for production, we have, of course, Ministry of Agriculture is responsible for that. I know they have a national agriculture policy. It has been there. They guide production. But of course, some gaps may be here and there, but they are doing great. Then if we talk of food labeling, we have the Bureau of Standards that is looking at the standards of every food in the market. But of course, most times, inspection is very important of this food. But of course, do we have enough human resource to do all these inspection every other time?
Yes.
So we have those regulations or the standards. But of course, another thing that is coming up that I know is regulations on marketing of unhealthy foods. And if that could come up, someone who is...
It's not already in existence?
Of course, it's not yet there.
Not yet.
If someone who is responsible for this regulation and is watching this program this evening, it will be very important that we actually acknowledge the importance of this regulation
of unhealthy
for marketing of unhealthy foods.
Give us examples of the unhealthy foods.
Of course, when we talk of unhealthy foods, I may not mention a brand, but if we talk of sugar-sweetened beverages, you see most of these sugar-sweetened beverages, I will talk of sodas. They call them sodas in general. I can confidently say that there is nothing healthy about it. Why? Because if we look at the WHO or World Health Organization as a standard for how much we talk of calorie in nutrition, how much calorie should the sugar-sweetened beverages, how much calorie should come from what? Sugars. You find that they talk of less than 10%, but most of these sugar-sweetened beverages actually have 100% of their calories coming from sugar. So that makes it unhealthy already. So that is one. And then of course these fatty foods that we are almost, these deep fried foods, the deep fried chicken that every person wants to enjoy so much. So I think we shall come and discuss more maybe after the break. But thank you. That's it.
Thank you so much, Daniel, and to our viewers. Thank you so much. We're just going to get into our very quick short break. We shall come back and continue on the education of the importance of having proper cooking skills as a consumer. Thank you.
Bethany TV for health. Showing on Bethany TV. Fibroids, often misunderstood, can affect fertility in many ways, like altering the shape of the uterus, obstructing the implantation of an embryo, or disrupting the normal functioning of reproductive organs. But what if the key to unlocking your path to parenthood lies within understanding a crucial conversation about fibroids and infertility?
I thought it was impossible until I found a team that truly understand my concern. They didn't just treat my condition, they give me a hope for a family.
With state-of-the-art techniques and a dedicated team of experts committed to guiding you toward a future filled with possibility. On Medical Minds, this Sunday, 8 p.m, live with Dr. Andabati, only on Bethany TV for Health. Bethany TV for Health.
Thank you so much. Welcome on to the Nutrition Spot once again. My name is Giftina Kainga. I'm having our guest nutritionist as Roma Daniel and a consultant in diet. We're looking at food systems approach to a healthier dietary pattern. We want to say that finding a solution to a problem using the food system approach would always involve considering the entire chain and taking into account that is the production, the processing, the distribution, the consumption of food, as well as the sustainability, climate change, and the recovery of the biodiversity. So as we went into a break, we were looking at the education on cooking skills. After the food is passed through the production, the distribution, the processing, now it's time for you to consume it. I think we lose it when it comes to cooking. So Roma, I want you to make my viewers understand on how best they can prepare the foods after they've gotten them from the markets.
Yeah, thank you so much once again. It's now interesting that we are actually talking about the culinary skills or education on the cooking skills. It's more of what I do there at the university. I happen to work in that lab where this unit called dietetic cookery. It's very important. We don't just cook food just like the way any other person would want it to be prepared. We prepare therapeutic diets.
If you say you don't just cook,
we don't just prepare food.
You don't just prepare food.
But when you're talking about food in aspect to providing relief or preventing diseases, then we have to modify it in some way. That's one way. Then, of course, in another way is just a general preparation of food with the principles of a healthy diet in mind. So, if there are therapeutic diets, or
I'm going to take you back. If you say in mind with the principles of a health diet, so let's now talk about the health diet, then you can continue with the therapeutic foods.
Of course. When you talk about a healthy diet, we're looking at consumption of foods which after consuming will have a health benefit to you, like you benefit from it, or it cannot risk you from having a risk of having these diet-related diseases.
This is true.
Yeah, so it's healthy in a way that you have limited or no risk of having any health-related condition after consuming. That is healthy. So, of course, for a diet to be healthy, we are looking at how diverse it is. We are looking at the nutrient density of the diet. We are looking at how adequate it is. Is it provided in adequate amounts? You see that? We are looking at the safety. Is it safe? So for it to be healthy, then it needs to have some qualities in it. before we even go to, maybe we shall go to preparation then.
True.
So, how can you modify diets during preparation in a way that it can actually be healthy?
Are we looking at it meeting the dietary needs that the body...
Yeah, of course. Of course, meeting the dietary needs will now depend on how much you will take it, and that may actually be another discussion.
Okay.
But on how to prepare the foods itself, one, we are looking at modifying the methods of preparation. Like, why would someone opt for deep-fried chips? I mean, deep-fried
chips
potatoes,
or chicken or potatoes.
Yeah, or chicken even. Why would someone opt for that? Because deep frying is a method of preparation, method of cooking. Why don't someone opt for boiled potatoes?
Can I answer for that?
Why? These Irish potatoes, people love to consume deep fry
instead of having them boiled.
Sometimes I have difficulties. You know, if you're there and you haven't maybe prepared something, and the evening you're moving around, you're seeing everyone is deep frying. Sometimes you just think of going to take tea and sleeping. It's difficult. So I think boiling the potatoes would be healthier than deep frying. It is true that it is healthier.
Boiling is healthier than the deep
frying. Because when you deep fry, you're actually adding all these oils, these excess
that are not needed by the body.
It's not important in that case. The oils you can get from something. Maybe you have even stewed your beans. Maybe you are making bean stew. Like the beans we eat, of course, those are stews. So you have used cooking oil there. If you need oil for your body, I mean you have used some minimal cooking oil in preparing your stew, why should you again go and take again another deep fried food there? That is another thing. That is one thing. Another thing is, let's talk about eggs when you prepare it at home. It is healthy to take boiled eggs than having to deep fry it. Someone will want, I know, I mean, it is always shallow frying. Shallow frying the eggs. You're making those, someone would want to make Rolex, and some people use a lot of oil. You can control it. That is another thing. Then most of the vegetables, I love it that around the city, most times it is steamed. But even vegetables, if you go to someone, you find someone who is not informed.
They are putting in oil.
They are putting in oil, and a lot of oil. You see that? So, for you to make your meal preparation healthier, you should limit the use of oil as much as what possible. If you can limit it, you have to limit it as much as possible. That is one thing. Another thing is that, of course, we talk of raw salt or even salt in food. You see, someone had an argument one day that, you see, we can actually condition ourselves in a way that we try to take as little salt as possible, just to test. Someone, you see, for example, someone will be taking boiled eggs and will want to take with salt. Why? My question. Boiled eggs.
Make it sweet.
No, it can't be sweet. That is unhealthy. I mean, if you are actually that type of a person who normally takes boiled eggs and then you again spray salt on it, my advice today is that you actually avoid that practice, because it's not healthy. If you condition yourself to take actually without that salt, boiled eggs is actually having already the salt in it. And if you take it without, you feel the salt to taste inside the boiled eggs. You get that? That is an example just.
Yeah, but I feel like most of us are victims of adding in salt, oil, the flying all the time, and there's so many other practices that we do that are unhealthy. So if you are watching the nutrition spot, I think by year 2020, I'm saying year 2024, you are going to be a better citizen because of the information that is being passed on to you. And remember, we kept saying that information is power, but it can only be powerful when you apply it. So if you do not implement what you've learned, then you do not have the power. So let's make it a point to implement what we learn, tuteke mu nkola bye tuyiga wano naddala ebikwatagana ku ndya. If we want to fight most of the diseases that are on the planet Earth, let's just mind what we eat and how we eat, because you are exactly what you do eat. You are. Tell your neighbor that you are exactly what you eat. So we want to look at how do consumers the choices that we make as consumers, how do they influence the food systems, and how can a consumer behavior be guided towards their healthier options? With our expert.
Yeah, thank you so much. The choices we make, we as consumers.
Yes.
How does it influence? First of all, the healthiness of what is on your plate. And then also, how does it impact the system? The broader, you know, the system responds to demands.
It does.
You get that? So it is a system because we have drivers. The consumer is one of the drivers to the food system. And most of these processors will produce what you actually want.
They produce.
They produce what you want.
What you want, even when it's not healthy for your body.
Yes, because
they
have because they do this sensory evaluation. They find that people like this taste of this, and then they. So now it is the consumer that needs to be informed, so that when you are making
a decision
on what to buy, you make an informed decision. You get that? That food, that choice, whether should I buy deep fried or should I get boiled? Should I deep fry rice at home? Should I fry rice at home? That stir frying. Should I add oil again?
Or I can make it
boiled.
Okay.
The choices we make should be informed. And when you're watching this show on Bethany TV and you're always following these TV station, I think they are always having this health program that can actually be important. So, going back to the choices that we make and how does it affect our health? Of course, I really highlighted how producers focus on demand.
The producers,
they focus on demand.
They focus on the demand that is from the consumers.
From the consumers. Example, let's say we always say that minimally processed maize grain. This one, the post show we ate here in Kenya, it's called ugali. If you go to Kenya, they eat actually the grade that here in Uganda no one would want to eat. But because they have realized the importance, first, why are you wasting the other brand? You're giving it to the animals, what? Yet it's actually very nutritious. That is food waste already. So the choices we make, if you take these two brands in the supermarket, they call it those different grades. The highly processed one, which is white, you find that a consumer will want to go for this one, which is white. Why? Or the first class.
Yeah, first class. It has color.
Someone will want to go for that. But we are here telling you that the first class, almost everything is removed. It is only now energy.
So there are no nutrients in the first class.
There are calories. There are calories. There is energy in it. Mostly it is energy dense. But this grade that you're leaving out, of course, has some protein, has fiber. That is very important. So now you see the choice. So we need to be informed when making any of these choices. That is one thing.
If you say that we need we need to be informed when we are making these choices. Is there a possibility, because now this goes back to the producer, it goes back to the person into distribution, it goes back to the processor, of course, oh yeah, I would say even the consumer. But now if I come as a consumer, I would give an example. If someone walks into a pharmacy or if someone walks into a drug shop and then they say, I have a headache, I need this painkiller. One of the questions this the person on the dispenser is going to ask you is, do you maybe have ulcers or not? Are you this or not? And the person will tell you, no, I don't have ulcers.
True.
So that means the person who wants to consume that drug is being interviewed to see whether they are suited for that particular drug. So let us take it back to the food production and all that. If I come and I want this particular rice, can I have someone inform me there and then to tell me, but you know what, you want this, but this would be healthier than this?
Oh, thank you. Actually, that's why this show is very important. For someone who is watching this show, you are informed here. And another thing is that you need to always read the labels on the food. If you go to most of the supermarkets, these flours are there. You find them written all meal. Yeah? You find even the grades are there. They are labeled.
So they should read.
They should read the food labels. And first of all, you need to understand what you want. The first thing is, I don't want highly processed maize flour. I want to go for like grade 2. I don't want this highly processed.
Sure.
Because what am I getting from it? I'm getting only this
Calories,
energy and no extra thing. So what should I do? I have to look for this grade 2. That is better. That is one thing. So when I go to the supermarket, I will ask these attendants, because I already know what I want now. Because these are the attendants at the supermarket, they will not tell you that this is more important than the other.
Because
for them,
they also don't know.
Yeah, for them, they're just going to show you that this is this, this is that. So you need to know what you want. That's why a consumer has to be informed in order to make healthier what? Dietary choices.
Choices and decisions.
Yeah, and decisions, yes.
But if you say that they should know what they want, how do I come to knowing what I exactly need for my body?
Okay, how do you come to knowing what you exactly need? The first thing is that as this show, we teach people on what is healthy and what is unhealthy. So that is one way you can know what you actually want. And then there are also health practitioners. There are nutritionists out there. There are dietitians. In this advancing world with a lot of practices and dietary transition, it is very important that we actually don't see every information on internet as the way to go. You need an expert in your life. That's why you need a family doctor now, you need a family nutritionist, someone that will guide you on how best to go about with that. Because there's a lot of things, a lot of information online. So that can help you to be informed on what can I actually eat. Because it's really worrying that this diet-related diseases is one of the leading causes of death globally. And of course, if we are talking about consumption of energy-dense food, that is risking people to being obese. We find that over 2 billion people, adults and children, are obese or overweight globally, and they are suffering from the consequences of obesity and overweight. And of course, we talk about consequences of overweight and obesity, then we are talking about things like these diseases which are nutrition related, or conditions like diabetes, we have hypertension, we have these now cancers. So all these things, they are in the mix. So that's why we need to be a little more careful, because as globalization is taking shape and advancement in technology and all these things, we also need to steal the show and move faster with how we actually guard our health. That's why we are here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And also the Assistant Commissioner, the Non-Communicable Diseases, Dr. Mutunji Gerard, has been advising the public to be very conscious on what they consume, on what they eat. He was encouraging us to avoid things that have a lot of sugars, because these things that we eat that have a lot of sugars have contributed to the increasing numbers of the non-communicable diseases, that is diabetes, hypertension, cancers, the heart failure. So if you be careful on what you eat, you can improve your general health. So let us try as much as possible. You shouldn't smoke, you shouldn't take alcohol, you shouldn't just be adding salt when you're not sure how much of salt your body needs. So let's be very, very careful. And on top of that, we can't finish everything here on Nutrition Spot, but we encourage you to go into hospitals. There are so many hospitals all over this entire world and country. If you're living in Bugolobi, Bethany Hospital is there. If you live, like wherever you are, I believe there is a health facility. So let us try to utilize the health facilities that are in our vicinities and get the right health information. The internet is not enough. If it was enough, the doctors or the nutritionists would have qualified from the internet, not from schools. So let us not use the internet to be the school. Go to the doctor to get the right information. Back to you, Daniel, to give us your take home as we wind the show.
Yeah, my take home for today is that it's great that we have appreciated the fact that the approach, looking at the perspective of food system, is very important in promoting a healthy dietary pattern. So of course, we need to understand that these different actors in the food system, right from producers, right from processors, or producers to processors, then distributors, and also consumers, play a critical role in guiding a healthy diet or in promoting a healthy dietary pattern. And it is great that we need to be watchful of our environment, because in most cases what's within our environment is what actually consumed. But if we make informed choices, we can actually be able to change what is within our environment. Even the suppliers, the distributors, will be able to change according to our need, because we will want healthier products. We will not go for things which are unhealthy, and they will change and start producing things which are healthy or foods which are healthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I appreciate you, and to our viewers, thank you so much. I take home, before we even get into Christmas, be mindful of what you eat. Don't just go with bandwagon. Be mindful and make informed decisions and choices to live a healthier and happier life. On the Nutrition Spot every Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. I remain Gift Nakainga. Have a good night.